What happens when you take a group of self-entitled students and place them in a school that is as far moved from reality as possible, doesn't have any shred of academics, and add teenage drama to almost each and everything that you can think of? You basically get a movie that's called Student of the Year 2, which will even make Keeping Up with the Kardashians seem a bit less dramatic.
And would you stop taking pictures of yourself? Your sister's going to jail.
As I went through the ordeal of watching this movie, I could actually feel myself transitioning from and spiraling down to, all thanks to the mind-numbing dialogue, scripting, and putting an over-the-top emphasis on each and every trivial matter that you can imagine. Now you might say that, you know what, teenage is all about drama, but wait till you see this movie. Considering this movie is produced by Karan Johar, if you go into this movie with any sort of an expectation in mind, well, trust me, you've got another thing coming at you. Apart from the name and the school premises, Student of the Year 2 doesn't really take anything else from the prequel. It's not like you would like to subject yourself to this movie anyways. Why would you? Just like how ACP Daya in CID can get a confession out of a hardened criminal with just one slap. Sitting through this movie can make anyone confess their crimes. Either the team in charge of the script had the easiest pay that they ever had in their entire lives,
It'll be like taking candy from a baby.
or they were high on some crazy stuff when they came up with this whole idea. Student of the Year 2 is to movies what 2020 is to the 21st century.
We do not speak his name.
This 2.5-hour movie is based on an inter-school competition in Dehradun. The winning team wins the Dignity Trophy, and the best player of the winning team is crowned as Student of the Year. As you would expect from a Bollywood movie, none of these schools have academics. It's more of an extracurricular activity, if not anything else. There was just one scene throughout the entire movie that even had a shred of academics.
Income and wages, unemployment rate, and
bike. Just come fast.
It was basically cut short by some unnecessary drama. But this is to be expected since the principal of the school is actually a radio jockey.
Good evening, student.
Good morning, student!
Good morning, student.
Good morning, Mumbai. This is Janvi on World Space Radio.
Before we go into the movie, let's just go over the cast. Considering that character development in this movie is as real as a mirage in the desert, I'm honestly at a loss of words when I try to describe these characters in more than a few lines. After all, if the production team didn't put any thought into these characters, apart from their superficial personalities, how can I come up with something new? First, we have Rohan, whose basically the role in the entire movie is either dancing, fighting, sports, or romancing.
आज को डिजाइन पसंद है, कल को नहीं. टैटू तो हमेशा के लिए होता है.
The only thing that he doesn't do in the movie is studying and acting. I'm pretty sure that this scene
दिन औरों का है, लेकिन साल हमारा होगा.
doesn't really cut it as acting. Rohan is a gullible guy with modest upbringings who is exposed to the world of drama and treachery. He prefers hopping from one terrace to the other instead of using the streets like a normal person.
Dial 911. Tell the police to get up here quick.
He's even let into his girlfriend's apartment when she's sleeping.
How did you get in here?
The window?
Do you do that a lot?
Just the past couple of months. I like watching you sleep.
This is way beyond creepy. Next, we have Mridula, Rohan's girlfriend, who transfers from Rohan's original school to St. Teresa. Her basic motivation in life.
मैं चाहती हूँ कि दुनिया मुझे देखे.
You don't say.
We now have Shreya, the daughter of some other important dude who is even more important than the principal. Being continuously compared to her idolized brother, rebellion is pretty much her entire role. Now we have an antagonist of sort, Manav, who is basically Shreya's brother. He is idolized throughout the entire school and he has won the Student of the Year trophy for 2 years straight. Saying he's a sore loser is sort of an understatement.
डॉक्टर्स का कहना है कि हारना मेरे ईगो के लिए ठीक नहीं है.
With no more characters to talk about, let's go into the movie. The movie starts with Rohan's fantasy, where he can move mid-air while time is stopped. He also dreams of winning the Student of the Year trophy, while Mia, or basically Mridula, his girlfriend, proposes to him in public. Like all good things coming to an end, he does wake up from his dream and then is forced with the actual realities of it. Since this is a Karan Johar's movie, the male lead's dreams, no matter how absurd they are, usually come true. He gets a letter from his dream school about the sports scholarship. So first day in college, and there's already a dance-off between Rohan and Shreya. Think about your first day of college, for instance. Do you remember it to be remotely similar to what's being shown over here?
Absolutely not.
Eventually, Rohan becomes part of the sports team and also finds himself entering into a dance competition with Mia. By the way, Rohan is completely obsessed with Mia's dream of winning the dance competition.
दिन औरों का है, लेकिन साल हमारा होगा. I promise you.
Turns out that in Karan Johar's fantasy, even a dance competition can set you for life if you win it.
एक बार मैं डांस कंपटीशन जीत गई ना, then there'll be no turning back. अपना हर ड्रीम पूरा करके रहूंगी.
What sort of a competition is this?
I don't know.
The day of the dance competition arrives, so as you'd expect from Karan Johar's movie, everything is taken up a notch and then taken a few times more. While a dance competition in reality might look something like, in Karan Johar's fantasy, they look a lot like. Even the judges are overly dramatic about the decision. There's also a cameo by Will Smith. Will Smith, what happened to you? Why did you say yes to this movie? Do you really want your career to be associated with this movie? How will you make it right?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
Wait, where was I? Oh yeah, the dance competition. During the dance competition, Mia trips, which basically leads to Rohan and Mia losing the top spot to Shreya and Manav. Yeah, that's right. The brother sisters actually took part together as a couple in the dance competition.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
I wonder where I've seen this before.
I finally found what I've been looking for.
When Rohan goes to console Mia, turns out that Mia actually colluded with Manav.
Let's put it this way. There is absolutely no collusion.
After all,
डॉक्टर्स का कहना है कि हारना मेरे ईगो के लिए ठीक नहीं है.
Well, that's just typical.
naturally they both get into a tussle and Rohan is kicked out from the school. He then goes back to his previous school. I didn't know that you could just walk back to your old school and pretend as if nothing has ever happened. He starts preparing his team for the tournament, and part of the training is actually inspired from this scene in Rocky.
Get him! Come on, what's the matter with you?
Meanwhile, Shreya decides to take part in Dehradun's dance competition since she came to know that the school competition was basically rigged. She manages to get in Rohan to be her partner for the dance competition. They eventually win. After all, this is Karan Johar's fantasy, there is just no other option. Shreya falls in love with Rohan, and Rohan finds himself in the middle of a love triangle. The inter-school competition starts and Rohan's school sees itself climbing up the charts slowly and steadily. Why won't it? After all, they have the super student from Karan Johar's fantasy as part of the team. The final deciding factor of this entire tournament is basically a kabaddi match that happens between Rohan's and Manav's team. After 15 minutes of drama, which basically felt like an eternity, naturally, Rohan's team wins and he is crowned as Student of the Year. For those of you wondering what happened to the love triangle, Rohan dumps Mia, proposes to Shreya. With that, this movie comes to an end.
Oh, thank God.
After which, I observed a moment of silence for my brain cells that died during the course of this movie. To summarize this movie,
This is the happiest dog in the world, and he spends half a day with you, and look at him.
this movie should have been renamed from Student of the Year to
Loser of the Year.
To think that another sequel is being made by Karan Johar, I would much rather face the apocalypse than put myself through part 3 of this franchise.
You're goddamn right.
It will be interesting to see whom he casts as the next target in his upcoming movie.
Intolerant is the
Yeah,
word.
flag bearer of nepotism. The movie mafia.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, a like would be appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification icon so you're notified anytime I upload more videos. Stay tuned for more content. In the meanwhile, stay safe